Hi, my name is Sylvia Tran, and this is my live demo for assignment 4 for CCS 327. As you can see on my screen on the right here is what I have in my workspace from the lab. And so what I started with was router 1 and router 2. And what I did for those two routers is the configurations based on the lab or the assignment. And then so the first thing that I did was I enabled it and then entered the configuration terminal. And from there, I went and accessed interface serial 1/0. And then I typed in no shutdown, which enables the interface. And so it should say that the interface is now up. And then from there, I entered in the IP address in which that we wanted to assign to the interface, which in this case is for the serial 1/0. Then from there, we did the command, or I did the command show running, which basically shows the serial interfaces right here, and it shows that the IP address is what we assigned it to for interface serial 1/0. And then from there, I entered in copy running config, startup config, which basically saves the configuration. And then from there, we entered the configuration terminal again, and then I accessed the interface of the fast Ethernet 0/0. And then I believe it is right. Yes, it's right here. Interface FA 0/0. No shutdown. And then I did the show running again just to make sure that the IP address is what it should be for the fast Ethernet 0/0, which is right there, which is correct. And then from there, I continue to save it. And um, I did the same thing on router 2. As you can see up here, I enabled it. Let's see. Yeah, I enabled it and entered the terminal configure the conf. Oh my gosh, I enabled it and then I entered the configuration terminal. And then I accessed the interface S1/0, no shutdown. And then I entered in the IP address right here. And then did the show running just to make sure that it was set for the specific interface. And then once again, saved it and then entered the second interface, which was for the fast Ethernet one. And then did all the IP address and then show running just to make sure that it was the right IP address for that interface. And then that was basically for the configuration of the interfaces for router 1 and router 2. And then moving on, I did connect the nodes from router 1 to router 2, and then from router 1 to PC1, and then router 2 to PC2. As you can see on, or in the topology summary on the right of the workspace or GNS3. PC1 is connected from the Ethernet 0 to router 1's fast Ethernet 0/0. And then same thing for PC2. It's connected on the Ethernet 0 connected to the R2's fast Ethernet. And then between the router 1 and router 2, as you can see right here, router 1 and router 2 is connected to each other on the serial 1/0 interface, as seen for router 1 and then router 2 right there. And then from there, continuing on, just to talk a little bit about some of the questions that were in the assignment. Question 1 says that now that the routers have been physically connected, they must be tested to see if the serial connection is running successfully, which I did. And my results were that on router 1, Yes, I believe router one, I did get a no. It was unsuccessful for the first ping um right here. However, the two row two and row three's ping for router one was successful. So 0% success rate, and then I got a 100, and then a 100 for the other two. And then same thing for router two. I received an unsuccessful percentage for the first ping. However, the second ping and the third ping did come out to be successful, as you can see right here and right here. And so some pings were successful and some weren't. I believe that the pings that weren't successful, which is row one for both router one and router two, is that it's due to the routing and the interface configurations. Um, the successful pings did uh, basically indicate that the directly connected interfaces were properly configured and that they can communicate with each other, unlike router one's first ping and router two's first ping. Um, I believe that it basically suggests that there is no routing between those two, and so that's why it can't communicate to each other between the network. And so moving on to question 3 and 4, um, it's basically to describe what show IP route and show interfaces um, is, or what the results would be. And so if we take a look here, I believe right here, show IP route. It gives a list of codes, which basically kind of describes or helps you understand what show IP route is. And it basically just the show IP route command basically displays the routing table for each of the routers, so router one and router two. And so it basically tells you if you know, there are any directly connected routes or any manually um added routes that are static. Um yeah, and then so basically it shows which which is connected, or so this is connected, the C represents connected, and so it shows that it is directly connected to serial 1/0, and then it's also connected to fast Ethernet 0/0, and then same thing for router 2. It shows that it is directly connected to the fast Ethernet and the serial Ethernet as we did previously. But then for number 4, show interfaces, that basically displays the details about the status of each of the interfaces, which includes whether it's up or down, the assigned IP address, and any input or output statistics that it may have, and then any errors. So if we take a look at router 2's, for example, I can find it right here, show interfaces. So for example, fast Ethernet 0/0 is up and the line protocol is up. Then it tells us where is it? Yeah, any errors right here, any inputs and outputs right here. But yeah, it basically just provides details about the status of the interface. And then question number 5, from PC1, try to ping PC2. I tested that right here on this line, ping, using the ping command, and it said that the host was not reachable. And so what I did in order to make the ping work is first I used the show IP command just to show whether or not um, it was given an address, and of course there was no address assigned to it because I had not done that yet. And then same thing goes for PC2, no address has been assigned. And so what I did was I gave both of the PC1 and PC2 an assigned address right here and right here. And then that worked. So I pinged it again to see if that would work. And then it gave me a no gateway found. And so what I did was I did another IP command just to route it to the not to route it, but to assign it with the gateway. And I did the same thing with PC2 right here. And then so because of that, I was able to ping it afterwards, and then it was able to get to PC2. Um, and then along with that, it said that we will need to use IP route, which here on router 1 and router 2 is where I routed the configurations from PC1 to or router 1 and PC1, and then router 2 and PC2, which is all which I believe is all right here for router 1, and then right here for router 2. And then number 6 says expand on the network topology by adding a switch to each network and at least 3 nodes per network. And so that is what I did, I believe, right here. I connected router 1 to switch 1 using router 1's fast Ethernet interface and the Ethernet of switch 1, which can be seen over here in the topology summary. If I go over to router 1 right here, and we look at this one, it's connected from router 1's fast Ethernet 0/1 to Ethernet 0 on switch 1. And then from switch 1, I connected it to each of the individual 3 VPCs from there. And then I did the same thing on the second router to the second switch, and then the next 3 VPCs. And my topology summary is here on the right, where everything is expanded, and then it shows how each device or each switch and router is connected to each other using which interfaces. And then I believe that that is it for my live demo of assignment 2 or assignment 4. Thank you.